Hi guys, this is Skirmisher Gaming here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about my opinion on the best settings and also my legend tier listing. Let's get into it. Guys, so for this video, I'm going to be doing a ranking instead of doing the common 1, 2, 3, 4 such and such. And for me, going into the S tier for all the legends, I believe there's only one S tier person operator legend in this game, and that is Lifeline. Lifeline's honestly the best thing about Lifeline isn't her shield or anything like that. It's the fast heal. The fast heal for Lifeline is just such an insane ability getting back into combat. If you get just like completely beamed, your heal is just 25% faster. Is making a big difference. 25, especially if you find a gold backpacks and stacked with Lifeline, you just heal so fast. It's insane. Now going into my A tier, I have 3 legends going into this tier, and those 3 legends are Bloodhound, WRAITH, and Bangalore. With these, I just believe that these 3 are all solid picks, probably the best rounded people in the game. Bangalore, her smokes can just provide so much utility to get away from gunfire if you are in damage, as well as the speed from when you're getting shot at can just make a big help for if you know how to manipulate your movement and your hitbox. That can be a real lifesaver, honestly. As for WRAITH, the small hitbox, it's literally the only thing that keeps her in this tier. Honestly, in my opinion, her abilities aren't that strong. However, her hitboxes are so small, it's so hard to hit at times. And then for Bloodhound, just being able to the tracker, being able to see where people have went, how long ago, it can just give you the upper hand on trying to find people and hunt them down and getting the upper hand on them. As well as his ultimate, like basically the hunt can be really strong at times. If you know what you're doing with it, you can like destroy teams. You can honestly wipe squads really easily. Okay, now going into the B tier, I have Octane and Pathfinder. Octane, honestly, like for Octane, you need he's more of a specialist character, right? Because you might not know how to use your jump pad in the correct situations, but if you do, he can honestly be the hugest player in the game, because that speed that you can use, if you know how to use your movement, manipulate your movement, even in the air with your launch pad, you can just wipe squads completely. As for the Pathfinder, the reason he's in B tier and not, honestly, in my opinion, not in C tier or A tier, is because he's not in A tier because his hitbox is a bit large, but he comes with like an insane amount of utility. But he's not in C tier because his utility is good enough to be able to keep him out of the C tier. I believe that Octane is a much better character than Pathfinder. However, Pathfinder is still a great character. Okay, now going into the C tier, I only have one legend in the C tier, and that's Mirage. And the only reason Mirage is in C tier is because he's a really niche pick. In order to play Mirage, you need to like really know how to play him. Like, because if you're versing a good player and you're just throwing your hologram out in a straight line, a good player is going to read that and he's going to know it's a fake. So they might shoot 1 or 2 bullets, but regardless of that, they'll still have a full mag and they can just easily beam you, especially if you're low. So there's certain techs you need to know when you're playing Mirage. Besides that, though, he's a decent pick. I wouldn't say to not use him, but there is obviously better legends in this game. Finally, into the the D tier. The D tier. The final 2 legends in Apex Legends that I believe are the worst are Caustic and Gibraltar. Caustic, he honestly, if you know how to play him in certain situations in certain parts of the map, he can be really strong. For example, in bunker, if you can catch some people off guard by placing his traps at certain corners of the room, and that can be a big advantage for you. However, that could also screw your team over badly. But the reason I think he is insanely he is the worst of the worst, and he's not in the C tier, is because his hitbox. Him and Mirage have the certain same type of niche abilities. However, Caustic's hitbox is just so unforgiving that it makes him so hard to play. If you play him and you are good at him, hats off to you. And then for the bottom of the barrel, worst character in the game, the worst lesson in Apex Legends is Gibraltar. Gibraltar, if his hitbox wasn't literally gorilla sized, he would honestly be in at least the B tier. The B tier. His abilities are so strong, but the fact that his hitbox is insanely unforgiving puts him in the D tier. His hitbox is literally double and almost a half of WRAITH's, and WRAITH is in the A tier, and I believe that Gibraltar has much better abilities than him. If Gibraltar had the same hitbox as Pathfinder, I'd even say he's in A tier. His passive ability, it may seem like a very small amount, 50 damage, that the shield blocks, but 50 damage to the head. Say they have a wingman. If they have a wingman and they hit you, if they hit you in the head, if you had no shield, that's at least 70 damage, give or take, without Skull Splitter. But then, if you have that shield, that takes 2 shots of their wingman to break the shield alone. That's so much damage you're protecting yourself from. You're saving yourself from at least 90 to 140 damage. Just from that one shield, that 50 damage, which does, like, when people think of that doesn't seem like much, but that is a lot. But then his cooldown, his tactical, his dome shield, that's such a lifesaver. If another Gibraltar or a Bangalore or any like area like AoE strike comes down, because that shield can block so much damage as well as nades, and that can just help your whole team set. If you are all like really low and damaged, that shield can help you so much, and it can be such a lifesaver. And then his ultimate is also another niche type of thing, but his ultimate can kill squads. It can wipe out squads. If they are unprepared and they're in a bad situation or a bad spot on the map, you can absolutely destroy with it. But it's literally his hitbox. His hitbox ruins him. I tried to play one game of Gibraltar, right? And I got downed, raised from full health. You get beamed. Your hitbox is so unforgiving, it's insane. And this concludes my legend tier ranking. Now let's get onto the settings. Okay guys, now getting onto the settings. So we're gonna go over mainly controller settings, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of others, and some information about those other things. So with the interact prompt style, what this does is, for newer players, I wouldn't recommend this, because the default, what it does is it gives you information about what you're picking up. It could give you information about the attachments or your nades or any gun that you have, and it gives you like what you need for them, what attachments and all that. As for compact I'd say it could be used for newer players, for older players and more veteran players. However, with that, sometimes if you aren't the best with picking up what things are, like for example precision, like chokes and pierces, like the hop-ups, some of them can look very similar, so compact can kind of screw you over there. However, you'll know if you like only have one thing that can get a hop-up, because only obviously one can attach to it, so you won't get, like, you can only pick up the one that will work, or the only one will attach. As for what's called damage numbers. With damage numbers, honestly, if you want, if the numbers are really annoying your eyes and like making it hard for you to track people, I'd just turn it off completely, because honestly, damage doesn't matter as long as you know as long as you know enough to know how much damage your guns are doing. If you've played enough of the game and realize how much damage your guns do to, like, per shot, you'll know how roughly how low they are. But I like stacking just because if I'm like shooting people from a range, I like to know how many times I've hit them. However, like, you don't need to know that really. I wouldn't recommend floating or both. Those two, both especially, just it really clogs up your screen. And then as for floating is like, it's kind of weird because it just gives you like numbers that are completely on top of each other, and it goes so high that if you have a certain gun, like for example if you had a Spitfire, that can really like mess up your aim. So I'd probably recommend just stacking or completely off it, like completely. As for the ping, I just leave this, and all this honestly is up to you. If you don't want to do any of this, then just leave it. Now onto controller settings. For me, I'd honestly say to leave the stick layout, but that's up to you. I just leave it usually in any game. As for the interact, I'd say keep it to this as well. But then for crouch button, it's default as toggle, but I wouldn't keep it as toggle, because honestly, if you hold, if you put it to set it to hold, you have to hold circle to stay crouched, and if you just keep tapping it, it can honestly really mess up your hitbox and make it so hard for people to shoot you. and you can like crouch way faster, which can annoy people for headshots. As well for aiming, I'd just keep it as hold, because toggle aim can really mess you up in the game. For button dead zones for L2 and R2, just turn that off, because dead zones are the worst thing on console. Controller dead zones are really annoying. Sense, here, this is my sense. So with sense, this is really personal preference, because for me, in most games, it depends. If it's a first-person game, I usually like to have like mid to high. However, in some games, I'd like to have it really low. So if you're a low sense person, I'd honestly recommend to just leave it at the default and put your sensitivity ADS to probably like 4, maybe even 3. But then, if you're a high sense, honestly, I'd put your sense to like 6, and then your ADS to about 3 or 4. Because if you have a really high sense and a really high ADS, your long range is really going to ruin you. And it's just not going to be a fun time trying to shoot people and poke at people from range. So I'd just say always keep your ADS sense relatively medium to high. And then for look dead zones, turn them off as well. Movement dead zones, turn them off as well. Okay, now on to vibration. I'd honestly just turn that off. It can, like, most of these settings in controller are revolving around your aim and how it can mess up your aim, or like for the better, like how it can change your aim for the better or worse. And vibration on, having it on can just really annoy your aim and mess up your hands, because the shaking of the controller at long range, if you're trying to manage recoil on guns, that can be a real downset. So like a downset, I guess. I don't know the word, to be honest, for aiming. So I'd turn that off personally. Now onto video settings, and for me, I honestly run it like a mid to high, like a mid field of view, but like that's because I'm sitting relatively close to my screen. And if you are sitting close to your screen, honestly, you could have it at like a low sense, like a low FOV, like around here, or you can have it to like up to around here, 100. But if you're sitting really far, I honestly would recommend putting it as close as possible, as high as possible, so around 110 to 100. But I'm probably just going to stick to around where I'm at, 90 to 100, because I sit relatively close. And then for sprint view shake, I'd turn it to minimal. Its default is normal, but I'd turn it to minimal, just because if you're sprinting around and your screen's shaking a lot, people from a distance, it may be hard for you to pick up, and with a minimal, it makes it so it's easier to see people at range, because seeing a lot of shaking on your screen, you could think it's like, say, a bush, or it could be a person, but you could think it's a bush. But if you have a minimal, you can see clearly if someone has like a skin, if it's a guy, it's a player, or it's like a generated part of the map. It's much easier to see the difference. Okay, this concludes my video about the top ranking and bottom ranking legends, as well as best sensitivity in Apex Legends. Like, subscribe, and comment what I should do next on my next video, and make sure to follow me on Twitch, Excalibur Gaming as well, and yeah, have a good one. Okay guys, so during myself editing this video, I realized that the video was long enough, but I felt like I needed to add some gameplay, just because the gameplay, if I didn't have gameplay, the video would have been dull. So I decided to put some gameplay in it, and I'll just give some little clips of it. I won't leave you the whole game for you to watch, because that would just get boring watching the parts where I'm not doing anything, just trying to chase people. So enjoy.
Bro, and what's in my audio?
Yeah, the audio messes up a lot in this game. Yeah, lately the audio's been really glitchy.
I can't.
Yeah, lately the audio on this game's been really glitchy lately.
What the fuck was that?
I couldn't
I
hear
hurt my
shit either.
ears.
I was so confused with where everything was.
Hurt my ears.
Can you drop your Joma if you have it?
Yeah.
Thank you, I finally have a fucking shield thing. Bro, I beamed that lifeline, I think it was.
Fuck, I lost. Wait. Yeah, I got my sight. I was just shooting him. My audio has messed up, so I was just. Fucking...
Yeah, no, it happened to me as well. Happened to us all. I know it's been really weird like that lately. Oh, I missed the top. That's unfortunate.
I think there's guys on me. There's loot boxes. Yeah, there is on me. Down one. Oh yeah, and the last one's lit. One on me.
Look left, there, look left. Left.
Yeah.
Far left, Fred.
I'm a bit slow, it's not fun.
Yeah, I hit one.
That's
I
my
don't...
mate.
Oh, you're a down guy, okay.
Ooh. Oh, that's a grenade.
Look at you!
He won. Lifeline one.
What? I can't believe
Close to me. Up in this mountain, I think. Oh no, this house here. Right there. Mark, can you get a res off?
Yep.
Because he can't shoot. Turn around.
Oh, bro. Sounds a bit.
It's fine, he'll probably re-sketch. Ow.
Oh, come inside, come. Wait, there's a guy in here!
Can you block the door, Mark?
I can't.
Nice. I can't res right now. Okay, can you cover, Fred?
There's 2 octanes.
Hit him.
One is late, wait.
Yep, yes, I hit him twice. I'm probably gonna make it.
I'm hitting Fred.
2 seconds.
Fred, come here.
I'm firsting. If I can aim. No, I can't aim right now. No, we're good. Okay.
What? The blood coming off from my enemy.
Double body armor.
Charging? That's you. Okay. Trying to find a purple, a better mag. Yeah, mag for my, yeah.
There's a Spitfire here.
I'll probably up in a second. What? This other one's low, yeah, I beamed her.
Octane beamed.
Nice.
Good job, man.
I need light ammo. Actually,
Have
what
you
do I
extended
think?
mag here? Extended my mag as well.
No, I'm gonna take the Spitfire because I need the wingman. Oh, I just got shot at.
Oh, on another building.
Yeah, it's in the building.
60.
Yeah, I know. I just need to get off there.
Oh, it's
I'm
going to
getting shot at.
I have no shield, I don't think. Oh, yeah, I do.
Shadows on.
Wait, do you want to shoot it?
No, I'm good. I'll stop. I'll press those.
Alright.
I accidentally dropped my skull pistol when I was panicking. So, yeah.
Yeah, fight. Oh, yeah, in the water. There's a fight. How does this jump pad work? Yeah, CVF.
It's not that
Don't
complicated.
trust that.
Really. It's not that complicated, really.
Inside.
One on me.
Laser.
Two on me. 3 on me.
Oh, what is this?
2 down low on me. 2 down here. Fred, 2. Another one, I think. No.
Shield?
I have like no shield. I'm full for now, but like, I need some after.
Yeah, I can take this.
Oh,
Set.
Did he go down there?
No, I'm trying to think where they would have went.
Oh yeah, he's still there.
I see, yeah. No, I'm dropping that, yeah. Let's go. Oh, there's one close to the care pack way. I'm going to this one care pack. There's 2. It's a Gibby and it's a... I'm beaming the
Oh, last one's lasered.
Bangalore no shield.
Last one's dead.
Where's the Gibby?
you there.
Where'd the Gibby go?
I don't know.
He's in there, friend? No shield.
That's not what Kiwi's thinking about. Yeah.
Knocked one.
It's my head. I hit her. Oh, that's the down one. Okay.
Gibbe.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I see him.
Gibby! Oh, that was fighting.
No, that one's there's two different teams close.
What you be thinking about?
Shit.
The other team's over far, and there's one to the left. I think there's one over like this way.
It's one squad left.
Is it? Yeah. Well, I need cells. I need cells. I need a shield. It's fine. I got stuff.
Hit on me! Fucking south. Oh,
Oh fuck! Bad idea.
I'm going hide. I'm lit up.
Oh, that one.
I'm using.
One no shield. One no shield. Beamed him.
Faster.
I'm popping a phoenix real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, die.
Oh, good shit.
I think I got a double. Double shit.